Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, hundreds expected to turn up at FBC's 3112 street party. Police to continue its war on drugs. And young boy electrocuted in Cunningham last night.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Amrita Sagar.
Hundreds are expected to flock at the Albert Park in Suva tonight to be part of the 4th FBC 3112 Street Party celebration and welcome 2018. Fiji Broadcasting Corporation Events Coordinator Salanieta Moala says it's a good time for families and friends to get together and count down the last seconds of 2017. Senia Nimboila reports.
This was a glance behind the scene earlier today as the FBC team prepares for the best tonight. FBC assures the public that this will be an unforgettable end of 2017.
I would like to thank our sponsors for coming on board, supporting our initiative. This is the 5th year we're having the 3112 event here in Suva and also in Coralville Park in Nandi. I expect an evening of entertainment, of fun, and we're expecting a lot of turnout, especially with because it's a family and non-alcoholic event. So we're expecting a lot of people bringing in their mats, having some grog and just sitting down, relaxing to welcome the new year.
Police Chief of Operations ACP Rusati Tunrabu says that they will be out in numbers to keep an eye on the street party.
That is what we are aiming at, maximum turnout in all towns and cities and also outskirts and other areas of concern to us. There also are some arrangement on Mardi Gras coming in. We are trying to confirm all these things so that we have our police officers deployed in those areas. The only focus for us is just for us to be visible in these areas. People coming out in numbers, they want to come and enjoy themselves in the new year. At least our police officers are there.
Thousands will be out and about with their families and friends to enjoy and welcome the new year. While 4 lives were lost in fatal accidents over the Christmas weekend, police are hoping for an accident-free weekend. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
We now cross over to Meli Tavanga, who is at Albert Park. Meli, what's the atmosphere like right now?
I'm Rita. I'm here at Albert Park. It's the 3FM 3112 Street Party. And let me tell you this, if you don't have any place to go tonight, you can come down here at Albert Park. You can come and witness one of the famous local band, Rocco Pacifica, and also we have DJ Music and also Team Stay Focused. They will be here to entertain you and take you throughout until midnight. And also you can come and meet your favorite 2FM radio personalities. They will be up on stage tonight to entertain you. For you kids, we have Ferris wheel and also food stalls in case you feel hungry tonight. And that's all I have from here. Back to you.
That all sounds really exciting. We now go to Coralville Park where we have Felipe Necaso. Felipe, how is the celebration coming along that side?
Thanks, Amrita. And just a few hours away before we welcome New Year, or welcome 2018, should I say. And I'm here at Coralville Park, and I tell you, Amrita, the crowds of people are starting to come down here to welcome the new year in style with the FBC's 3112 Street Party. And to tell us a little bit more about tonight's street party, I have here with me Ben Rakanathe. Ben, just tell us what do the people have in store, or what do you have in store for the people of Nandi this evening?
Well, so far it's all happening on stage. The people are coming, and would like to thank the public for turning up in numbers. The families, they're getting their families together just to enjoy and say goodbye to the year 2017 and welcome the year 2018. And yes, of course, we'll be having, in a short time, we'll be having a group on stage, the Vinny Tembara Serenades together with my dance group. So which means that the people of Nandi and the people of the West, this is the best time to come down and enjoy what the event is all about and what the event will bring to their families, the parents and the kids, just to come down and enjoy the event. And before we come down to the midnight of the show, like the fire brigade trucks will be around, so which means that this will be a good happening. And the last event organized by the FBC to the year 2017, before we say goodbye to the 2017 and welcome 2018. So the people of the West, people of Nandi, Lautoka and Singatoka, if you're watching this interview, come down, get a family down. This is the best time to come down and enjoy the event. This is the Mbula FM in Mirchi, Street Party 3112, 2017, just to say goodbye and welcome 2018.
Naka, Amrita.
Thank you, Felipe. The Fiji police force will continue its war on drugs relentlessly and aims to get those involved in this illegal trade off the streets. Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveni Gilho says the force is not going to be disheartened by critics who are saying that the war on drugs is a losing battle. Brigadier General Gilho says they will also try to improve policing on serious crimes such as aggravated robberies and burglaries in the new year.
We are concerned with crime throughout the year, and we want to finish on a high note. Even though the crime stats for this year might be equal or slightly over than that for last year. And that is basically due to our strong operations against drugs. Drugs has moved up significantly in our statistics. But that's why we are going out working hard. And if it means higher stats in some areas and will be slightly over by a few percent, so be it. In the long run, it will be better for Fiji.
I am optimistic that in the spirit of giving, we will spare thought on what we can do during this time to share with those who still need a helping hand. These were the words of opposition leader Rotemu Mukepa in her New Year's message. Kepa says that as we say goodbye to 2017, we must reflect on things that influenced many this year. She says people should help those who are less privileged, who often feel most vulnerable. Kepa says that next year's elections, in the midst of campaigns and election promises, she hopes politicians will implant in their hearts the care of duty to the people of Fiji. She challenges Fijians that in 2018, everyone will give themselves a new purpose, and that is to be the best versions of our individual selves and as a nation. A 16-year-old boy died after he was electrocuted by a power line in Cunningham last night. Fiji Electricity Authority Chief Executive Hasmukh Patel says that one of their live power lines was loose and the young boy touched it. Patel says that it was unfortunate that no one called them about the low power line, as they would have turned it off in a matter of seconds. He is urging the public to always inform them on toll-free number 913 if a power line gets loose.
But apparently one of the youths touched the power line, and as a result, because the power line was still alive, obviously he received an electric shock initially, and by the time he was taken to the hospital, he passed away.
22 staff of air terminal services who went on strike 3 weeks ago have returned to work. In a statement issued, ATS says these workers claim that there are many others like them who want to return to work. The statement further says that many also stated that while they are willing to accept a warning letter for their actions, they are wary of victimization from those who continue to strike and from those who influence them to strike. The company is aware that many involved in the strike were unduly influenced by their union leaders not to attend work. ATS has modified the return to work letters that were initially published to clarify workers' concerns over the disciplinary action that would be taken against them, and the letters now clearly state that they will not be terminated and at the most will receive a warning letter. Meanwhile, ATS says they have also received an overwhelming response to the vacancies advertised, and the caliber of applicants was impressive. Still to come, religious organizations calls for harsher penalties. And in our Successful Fijian segment tonight, we take a look at the woman behind the making of beautiful fans. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai Singatoka, kera ndo talita kana barorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo sekolah untuk talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kena Domoy Viti.
Kaya ko ato silil talit. Nagurara may nawamangi nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela nagudurongo. Barong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fijian nantumai vitin bonga ni BNN.
Religious organizations are calling for harsher penalties for those involved in sacrilege acts. A temple in Wailanasori was broken into last week, and a week before that, the Vutwalevu Tiradham temple in Nandi was broken into the third time. Pranita Prakash has more.
There have been 2 incidents of sacrilege recently where temples were broken into, idols were damaged and swear words written on the walls.
Sanatan Dharam Patni Sabha Fiji strongly condemns any act of sacrilege and religious intolerance. It is very disappointing to see that the places of worship are vandalized. Any act of sacrilege is deplorable, and Sanatan Fiji is urging all Fijians to condemn religious intolerance in the strongest terms.
Police Commissioner Brigadier General Sitiveningiliho says such acts are unacceptable.
If people are doing that based on their religion, then they do not have a good understanding of what their religion is all about. It's about tolerance and everybody being responsible for each other.
Giliho says those involved will be brought to justice.
Also, there's been rhetoric targeted at a certain religious community in Fiji. We'll go out and investigate those hate speeches and things like that, and those antagonizing all these differences. We are there. We are working on it. We are working meticulously so that when we take it to court, it sticks. That's what we're hoping for.
The Vishwa Hindu Parishad Fiji is also calling on temple committees to be vigilant and, if possible, install cameras to prevent or at least assist in catching the intruders. The Hindu organization urges all committees to refrain from keeping monies and valuable items inside their temples. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
A female lawyer has been charged for allegedly assisting Deshwar Dinesh Dutt's escape from lawful custody earlier this month. The 33-year-old lawyer has been charged with 1 count of aiding the prisoner to escape. The lawyer remains in custody and will be produced at the Nandi Magistrates Court on Tuesday. Dutt escaped from the Nandi Magistrates Court 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, Deshwar Dutt's wife has again been taken in for questioning for her alleged involvement in her husband's escape following new information gathered by the investigating team. School students from 14 villages on Coral Island were gifted backpacks to help them afresh with school. The backpacks were provided by Reach for Your Future Foundation and was given to more than 700 students. Anna Ravulo reports.
It was a day that most students from Coral Island were looking forward to as they get new backpacks for school.
We note the gift is linked to education. That is because of this government's commitment to providing free education based on our belief that it is the critical foundation for our child's future.
Reach for Your Future Foundation Ambassador Samu Kerevi says the best gift any child can get is accessories to better a child's education.
A gift that will accompany every child from home to school in 2018. A backpack that can be filled with dreams and aspirations to succeed and become the best you can be.
The children of Coral Island continue to excel in their studies despite learning intense. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
In nearly all occasions, fans or iri is a must, especially during a wedding. In our Successful Fijian segment tonight, we take a look at the person who weaves these fans and earns a living from it. 60-year-old Sainiana Yambaki says that weaving fans plays a major role in their daily lives. Sainiani Boiler reports.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
Living in Dako village, about 6 miles away from Nausori town, Sainiana Yambaki weaves iri to cater for her family. Being the sole breadwinner, it puts a lot of pressure on her in weaving fans, but the return is worth it.
When my children went to school, we even faced more challenges because we both stayed home and we didn't have any jobs. When our children started going to school from primary then to secondary, I could see that the challenges we face as a family increased because that time fees not free, but now fees are being paid by the government.
She started weaving fans in 1996. All the money earned from this has helped put her 6 children in school.
When my children started going to secondary school, I began to realize that the money I got from weaving mats was not enough to cater for my children's fees, as my eldest was going to go to boarding school. So that's when I started to weave fans. I was really happy to know how to weave fans and started selling them, and I was getting a lot of money from it.
Mbaki says her hard work has definitely paid off after most of her children now have good jobs.
I sometimes get $100, sometimes $90, but mostly more than $100 because I had to work hard to earn for my children to enable them to go to school. My 4 children have successfully completed their education. They all have graduated, and just my last one passed his Form 7 exam and will be moving to FNU next year. My eldest is now a sales assistant at RC Manubai. My second is with Fiji Ports. My third is a staff at the Hideaway Resort, and my fourth is an accountant at a Chinese agency in Turak. And the last one is the 7th former.
For Mbaki, Christmas week was a busy period as orders flooded in and time was not on her side.
I earned about $500 during Christmas. I even had to reject some orders because it was just too much.
Weather is a major challenge for the mother of 6, but her husband is always by her side to give a helping hand.
The only challenge I face while running this business is the weather. Sometimes it's raining and the fan hardly gets dry. There is a high demand for fans every day. Maybe because of the weather we are currently experiencing. My husband helps me a lot. He does everything and I only have to weave the fans.
According to Mbaki, Ndaku villagers have a gift of making fans, and women are not allowed to take the skills outside of the village.
We have abundant resources that God has provided us with, and we just love to utilize it. Even for us, we both stay home and we were able to strive for the best. Some parents just can't carry on with their responsibilities. No, we shouldn't. We should continue to struggle for the benefit of our children and our homes.
She adds that people must always use their talents to earn a living, as life will only get harder from here onwards. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
Coming up in sports, weightlifting, Fiji demands more from athletes. And Wate keeps his options open for a coach switch. This and more coming up.
Moala radada ranadika au tikongona taunu singatoka andou talitaka na wakaronga na Bull FM number 2 na sere
ya dora chubuli kurna bili borani batukara hambara binanga do talitakina na wakaronga na Bull FM number 2 na sere
Bull FM number 2 na sere.
Weightlifting Fiji in its history has qualified a total of 8 athletes to the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia. Apollonia Vaivai and Aileen Vikamatana both qualified directly to the Commonwealth Games after winning their respective weight categories at the Commonwealth Championships in September 2017 in Australia. Secretary-General Ritesh Ratiram says other 6 athletes have qualified by competing in accredited competitions by the Commonwealth Games Federation, and their performances are ranked with the top 15. While the athletes have qualified based upon the CG rankings list, they will still be required to achieve minimum levels of performances in the lead-up to the national and international competitions and a series of trials in January and February next year. Weightlifting Fiji is finalizing its selection criteria and expects to inform the athletes over the next few weeks. Athletes who do not meet these minimum benchmarks will not be part of the Games.
The selection criteria to see their hunger, their passion, their commitment, and we have 3 months before we name the final team to the Commonwealth Games, and this is to ensure that they are making improvements in their own efforts, in the weights that they're lifting to qualify for the game, not qualify, to improve for the Games.
The 42nd Fiji Bira Murray Sevens will have no Tier 1 and Tier 2 competition, as all minor and big teams will be mixed in the pooled stages. The tournament committee is looking at servicing weaker teams better if they get into the main tournament. The tournament director says they will have more time this year and more social approach to the oldies to see how they spice it up for next year and even improve it further at grassroots level.
The smaller teams from the villages, they look up to playing the wardens or playing police or playing army or playing Red Rock or whatever teams that are, that are stronger. They always look to the challenge. So we won't have a tier 1, tier 2 tournament.
Vodafone Fijian Bati player Aquila Uate says he is keeping his options open for a code switch. The 30-year-old who featured for the Fijian Bati during this year's World Cup says switching to rugby union has crossed his mind a few times. Uate says that he would prefer switching to the 15s code.
Well, at the moment, I'm just looking forward to playing for Manly this year, or next year, sorry. I've got one more year and only God knows what the next contract's going to come. So, yeah, just kind of like, I'm not sure.
But is that across your mind?
Yeah, definitely. It's always there. I was born and raised in Fiji, so rugby is always there.
Wallaby star and Queensland Reds player Carmichael Hunt has stood down voluntarily from all contractual rugby obligations after being charged with drug possession in Brisbane. A-League topping striker Nathan Burns has agreed to return to the A-League and join Fijians Roy Krishna's Wellington Phoenix, hoping to rekindle the goal-producing form of his 2014-15 season. Burns last played for the Knicks in 2014, scoring 13 goals, helping the club to a finals appearance and winning the Johnny Warren Medal for the league's best player. A trough of low pressure remains slow-moving over Fiji. Associated cloud and showers affects the group still. Taking a look in the west, it was a cloudy day for most areas, but sunshine prevailed as well, with Ba hitting the highest temperature of 32 degrees. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, cloudy conditions prevailed in some areas and with a few showers. Up north, cloudy periods were around Lambasa and Savu-Savu, with Lambasa recording the highest temperature at 31 degrees. At sea, northeast to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide tonight will be at 11, with low tide at 4:57 p.m. tomorrow. Sunrise will be at 6:37. Now for the further outlook, occasional showers and few thunderstorms over the eastern parts and the interior of the larger islands is expected. Elsewhere, afternoon or evening showers with possible isolated thunderstorms. Recapping the main stories, hundreds expected to turn up at FBC's 3112 street party. Police to continue its war on drugs. And young boy electrocuted in Cunningham last night. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we ask, should there be harsher penalties for people involved in temple sacrilege? Visit our FBC website to answer. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. And that was your FBC News for tonight. On behalf of FBC News crew and directors team, have a happy and safe New Year.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुपु रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1, इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरेकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टोटो पाबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम, इट्स हॉट।